Yeah, thanks for everybody being here and everybody's leadership that brought us here today. Thank you, everybody. Before I start, I just want to give our state's condolences to Mayor Joe Solomon and his family. Joe passed away, and we know that Rep. Solomon actually was very involved in this bill. He would have been here with us today. So, yeah, just wanted to mention that, so that people know the mayor was a good person that served this state, and his family has as well. So we wanted to recognize that. So today we sign into law legislation that will gradually raise the minimum wage in Rhode Island to $15 over the next 4 years. I commend Representative Bennett, Senator Quezada, and all the advocates that have worked on to bring this across the finish line, and Rep. Williams as well, and others that have been really passionate about this issue. That is just common sense, right? Especially as we're dealing with coming out of the COVID-19 and knowing how important the people who are working in our small businesses are to our small businesses. If there was ever a time that we know that that's true, it's true. And tomorrow we'll continue to work on getting people back to work. But it took a lot of dedication, but today it pays off. I'd like to also recognize Speaker and Senate President for their commitment to this effort and for them to be here today in support of this signing. Our Lieutenant Governor is here as well today, and this is something that she's been very passionate about for the Rhode Island families in terms of having a living wage. So raising the minimum wage will benefit thousands of workers, and we need this progress now more than ever. The Rhode Island Department of Labor and Training estimates the new law will raise wages for approximately 70,000 workers by 2022 and approximately 140,000 workers by 2025. The boost in wages will go back into our local community, supporting small businesses and all the 39 cities and towns that we call home. It's an important step in the effort to help lift Rhode Island families and support many of the essential workers who put themselves at risk to keep our state safe, especially during this time, during the pandemic. This law is aligned with what's happening in our bordering estates, and as we continue to get shots in the arms and look forward to an economic recovery, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to reset Rhode Island, to work for Rhode Islanders. And so thank you for the leadership of everybody that was involved in this bill, because that's going to meet that goal of creating a Rhode Island that we all can be proud to live in. So a commitment to a $15 minimum wage is a piece of that puzzle. Any Rhode Island working full-time should be making that or more. And our commitment is that they would make more, because we want to make sure they're educated in a way where everybody in the state, that they have that full opportunity to enjoy the economy that is coming and the economy that everybody should be included in. So many Rhode Islanders have been struggling on a living wage, to live on wages that haven't been kept up with increasing cost of living. And gradually raising the minimum wage will give these workers the boost that they need. With that, I'll turn it over to the Lieutenant Governor for a few words, and then we'll have a signing, and then we'll enjoy the hard work of everybody that has been involved in this. So thank you so much to everybody that has been working on this. Governor?
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Andrea. And all of you know that I'm short, right? So I have to fight with the microphone. Good morning. It's really a pleasure to be here today in this historic moment. There has been a fight that has been taken on for many, many, many years, and there have been a lot of leaders that have been working in this for many years also. As we saw last year with the pandemic, there is a lot of needs in the state of Rhode Island for the working family. Today's legislation will give hope to our state workforce. I want to thank Representative Bennett and Senator Quesada for their leadership in this legislation at the House and the Senate. I want to thank the leadership of the Senate President Ruggiero and also of the Speaker of the House, Joe Shikashi, and all the team that work on this. I'm going to take a moment to recognize some leaders who I've been working with in this issue when I was at the city for many years, and I had been working at the House. So I want to recognize Representative William and Representative Marcia Ranglin also for the work they've been doing for years in this legislation. I just want to say also about Speakers Shikashi and Senate President Ruggiero. This doesn't happen without your leadership. So I want to just say thank you. Thank you for all you have done to make this day happen. Some working families have to choose between paying the rent or putting food on the tables. And by raising the minimum wage, the residents of our state have another opportunity to have more security for them and their family. I want to thank all the advocates that make all this work possible. And as we are building back better, let's continue to build back with a lens towards equity for all Rhode Islanders. With that, I would like to welcome the Speaker, Joe Shikashi, to the microphone. And again, thank you for your leadership, Speaker.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Just to echo what the Governor said, I'll just take a brief moment and recognize my good friend, the Mayor of Warwick, Joe Solomon, who passed. It's a tragedy and so young, a loss to the city, a loss to the state. And on behalf of myself, Leader Blazejewski, and the entire House, we extend our condolences to our friend, Joe Solomon Jr., and the entire Solomon family. And I thank you. Governor, Senate President, Lieutenant Governor, I want to thank all of you for being here today to recognize and execute this most important piece of legislation. On behalf of the House, I want to recognize my colleagues who are here today. Obviously, I want to start with my partner in the House and good friend, Chris Blazejewski, the leader, Chairman Bennett, Chairwoman Williams, Representative Potter, Representative Rangel-Vassell, Representative McCaw, Representative Batista, Representative Morales, Representative Henrys, all are here on behalf of the House to show their commitment to this, to show the commitment to raise wages to a more livable standard. I want to recognize, obviously, Chairwoman Williams, Representative Rangel-Vassell, who have worked on this issue for many, many years. Since I've been in the House, and they've been in the House, this has been something that they have championed. But there's one person from the House who has been, since he got elected, 2000, I don't know the exact year, maybe it was 2010 or 2008, David Bennett, the chairman of the Environmental Committee. When he got elected, he started a campaign for many causes, but his most important cause was raising the minimum wage. At that time, the minimum wage was $7 an hour. And executing this bill today and signing this bill into law, we will have raised the minimum wage over the next several years to $15 an hour. That is an accomplishment, David. Thank you. In working with the Senate President, in working with the Governor, we recognize this effort on behalf of all of Rhode Islanders. That's why when we just passed the IGT Twin River deal, we accelerated the wages for the workers there. We passed last week a nursing home staffing bill to accelerate the wages, improving quality of condition for the people who work hard every day, as the Governor said, the frontline workers who keep Rhode Island going. I like to say keep the trains running. It is a team effort. We all work together, and I can't think of anybody better to be working with me on a team than my good friend, the Senate President, Dominic Ruggiero. He's the dean. When the Governor and I and the Senate President get together, he's the guy with the most experience. He's the guy who's been around the longest, and he's the guy I rely on for any kind of historical perspective, and I'm proud and happy to call him my friend. Senate President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank everyone for being here today. This is a momentous occasion, and I too want to offer the condolences of the Rhode Island Senate on the passing of former Mayor Solomon. I know it's a big blow to the family, as the Speaker said. He died relatively young, but he was a committed public official, and we offer our condolences to the family. I want to recognize the presence of some of my colleagues here, Senator Bridget Valverde and Senator Gail Golden. I also want to commend Chairman Dave Bennett for the great job for his initiatives over the years to try to move the minimum wage issue to the forefront. This is a very important issue for the Senate. We have been working on minimum wage for a number of years, probably about 7 years, and I want to recognize the tremendous efforts of my Deputy Majority Whip, Anna Casada. She's been tenacious on this issue, and I want to recognize the phenomenal work that she has done in the past and to get this issue over the top. Congratulations, Anna. You did a great job. You pressed the issue for a number of years, and finally it came to fruition. This is a very important issue. This helps us retain some of our working people in the state so they don't go over the border for higher wages. We're going to actually have this over a period of time. We're going to let this, every year we're going to raise it. As Speaker Shikashi said, in the Twin River contract, they put $15 as an objective, and they're going to reach that objective over the next 3 years. So it shows what a great start we have. I think this is going to help put money in the pockets, as the Lieutenant Governor said. This is going to allow people to put food on the table, educate their children, advance their careers. I think it's a great initiative, and we've done it in a manner that it is predictable to the business community. So I want to thank Governor McKee for being here today, Lieutenant Governor Matos. I certainly want to commend the Speaker and the great cooperation that we have had regarding this piece of legislation. His leadership team has done an absolutely great job of getting this over the top, and this is a big initiative for the Senate. As I said, we've been working on this legislation for a number of years. So I want to thank my colleagues in the Senate. I want to thank my colleagues in the House and the leadership of the House. Once again, I want to thank the Governor for his leadership and the Lieutenant Governor for her leadership. And this is a momentous occasion, and I can't wait until we sign the legislation. It gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce Chairman Dave Bennett, whose efforts and tenacity on this particular issue should be recognized. So, Chairman Bennett.
Thank you. I'm so proud and grateful to be here today. I'd like to start off by thanking Speaker Shikashi, Leader Blazajewski, and all my colleagues in the House that made this happen. Today we're taking a leap towards a fairer, healthier, safer, and more prosperous Rhode Island. At last, Rhode Island is on the path towards breaking the cycle of poverty for those at the bottom of the wage spectrum. Minimum wage has not been kept pace with the inflation over the decades. Its value today is about 25% less than what it was in 1968. This affects families. It's not just teenagers who work minimum wage, low-wage jobs. Many people are supporting their families on low-wage jobs, often working 2, 3 to make ends meet, and while their kids are alone. This is no life. One of the reasons we have minimum wage is to prevent this sort of thing from happening. Our neighboring states have already started moving towards 15, and I'm very pleased that Rhode Island has now committed to bringing minimum wage closer to a living wage. A lot of people, workers, advocates, my fellow legislators, have a lot of working hard for many years to reach this point. Excuse me. It's been my honor to sponsor minimum wage for as long as I have in the House. And I'm grateful for how far we've come in that time. Letters or advocated, I'd like to thank my colleagues in the House and the Senate for supporting this bill. Efforts to raise the minimum wage for workers is a noble thing to do. It keeps us from having to look at somebody. I used to say it's a difference having cereal and cereal with milk. You know, these families are working hard, and they should get paid for it. The pandemic showed us many of the essential and shined a bright light in the inquiries of our economy, inequities of our economy. I'm happy to say that we're on that path, and we're heading towards 15. And I'd like to bring up my colleague now from the Senate, the sponsor of the bill, Senator Quesada.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm very happy to be here this morning. But first, I want to say thank you to the Senate leadership, because this was the first bill that we did this year. You can see the urgency that they saw in this legislation. I want to thank everybody, all of my colleagues in the Senate who worked hard for having this legislation together. First, I wanted to say this is a legislation very close to my heart. When I came to this country many years ago, I was one of those workers who worked for minimum wage in New York City. I'm very honored to be part of this moment, in particular to honor to have sponsored this legislation in the Senate. What we have done today, we have important positive result for all Rhode Islanders. This legislation will be very important for resident minorities and women who are overrepresented in low-wage jobs and underrepresented in high-wage jobs. If this happened in the nation, the Economic Policy Institute estimates that the wage increase will affect 31% of African American and 26% of the Latino population in the United States. It's good for the economic, it's good for the state, and most of all, it's good for all the people in Rhode Island. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for everyone who's here today. I want to work on Senator Anderson. I think they forgot that she was here. Thank you for being here this morning, and thank you, each one of you, for being here with us. Thank you.